Welcome everyone to the game between Lev Zverev and Advik Agrawal. Two youngsters. He plays e4. He's 16 years old from Russia, while Advik is just 11 years old from India. Lev is an IM, but I believe he's finished his requirements for GM. Meanwhile, Advik has finished all his norms for the IM title and he's around 2370. Knight c6. We have the Rosolimo. These two youngsters, very confident. Pawn to e6 played by Advik, and Lev immediately takes on c6. Advik takes back with the b pawn, bolstering his center here. Pawn to b3 to get the bishop on this long diagonal, and d6 played by Advik. We have e5. This move tries to spoil the structure of black. Pawn takes pawn taken here. And you have knight takes pawn. Now eyeing these squares. Queen to g5, attacking the knight and the pawn on g2. And we have knight g4. Look at the speed with which both of them are playing. It's all their preparation. Knight to f5. And now white castles. And black takes on e3. Well, Advik seems to be in a difficult position here with f file opened up, his pawns doubled, but he has the bishop pair and chances to attack. Bishop b2 and now castles. This is what good chess understanding is all about. You understand the imbalances in the position, and here black understands that f5 has the king side majority. d3 played here by Lev, and Advik plays c4. Wow, he sacrifices a pawn in order to maybe open up the bishop here, or even c5 bishop b7. That's just incredible. Bishop goes to c3. By the way, the bishop was hanging. Pawn to e5 played now. The central pawns look strong. Knight comes out to d2 for Lev, and Advik goes bishop to d7. We have rook to b1, offering a trade of rooks, and Advik brings his rook to e8. Pawn to e4 played here, and bishop check. The king moves to h1, and can we go f4? Yes, he pushes his pawn to f4. Now with bishop g4 ideas. So the queen comes back to e2, and Advik is slowly and steadily building up the pressure. Knight to f3, hitting the queen. The queen moves to h5. Rook at 6 is coming in. Pawn to d4. And Advik takes. E takes d4. Knight takes on d4. Offering a queen trade. No trade, says Advik. Bishop g4. The knight comes back. Now the rook is hanging. But maybe rook at 6. Yes, he goes rook g6. And pawn to h3, a big mistake. And Advik is like, boom, I'm winning now. Bishop takes h3. G takes h3 taken. And a very powerful move is rook g3. He finds it. Brilliant chess. Rook b7. Coming to the 7th rank to attack here. You can just play rook e7. But he takes on h3, which is also a good move. f1 is hanging, so knight h2 is forced. And now rook takes c3. Boom, takes it. Wow. And rook to f4 taken here. It's totally winning position. And just h6 or even rook e6. He goes bishop to d6, which is also a nice move. And Lev is just lost here. Advik has completely outplayed his opponent. White is making moves just so that can survive. Maybe bishop d4. He plays h6, taking away all back rank issues. Rook h5. The queen is attacked. But bd4. If you take my queen, I'll checkmate you. So the other rook has to come back. And now queen e6. The rook comes to h4. And now just bring the other rook into the game. But rook e3 played. The queen goes to g2, And Advik now snatches a pawn. This helps white a little bit because pieces can get traded, but overall the endgame is also lost. Advik gives a check, knight to f3, and now rook e1 check is over. Yes, this is almost game over. It's +6 now. Takes, king g2, rook e2 check, king h1, and now take the pawn on c5. He goes bishop f6. Rook comes back to g2. Takes, king takes, and now queen takes c5. Lev quickly gets the check in, king h7, and plays c4. He's trying to put pressure on the clock to Advik, but Advik has a lot of time. h5 played, 2 pawns up now. g6, step by step, trying to progress. Bishop g7, queen to d7 played, and now king h6. He's moving ahead. There comes a check, g5. The queen enters in back. Bishop to f6, and now queen e6 played. Advik brings his king to g7, queen d7 check, and now he brings his queen back. Lev gets an important pawn, but Advik gets in the check, king h2, and now g4 pushes forward. Oh, knight has to go back to g1. That's just so sad. Queen e3. Advik has 5 minutes on the clock. Lev has 15 minutes. King g7, king g6, and now queen a8. The bishop comes to c5, attacking the knight. Queen comes and gives a check. Okay, just king h6. No more checks almost. Queen f8. Now maybe just king g5. The king is coming in. Queen check. King f4. Check. I don't even know what to do here. King. He goes king f5. Check here, and now king e4 to come here. Oh, he goes back to g6. But Advik can come in with the king. But he goes bishop f6. Just hesitating a bit there. Not being sure that he can actually win this. Queen a8. And once again the chance to start moving the king. Check. King f4. Another check. Now you can't go to the e file, but goes in. Whoa, that's bold. Queen f5 by Lev. Can you go h4? He plays h4. It's a good move. c5. Pawn pushes forward. If you take on c5, knight e2 check. What a trap this is. Queen e5 and a draw. So he first goes h3, queen c2, king h4, and c6. But now bishop c5 played. The queen comes in with a check. King g3, queen check, and king f2. Places king to f2, queen h7, and maybe queen to e6 is a good move. He goes king g3, queen check, and king h4. But now it's a draw. Queen check. If king g3, there's queen c7, so he goes back to g5. Check. King h4, queen h7, and a draw is offered here by Lev. Threefold. Advik plays king g3, but this position has been repeated 3 times. The arbiter gives it a draw, and Advik, oh my god, is completely winning, and he draws this game. Lev escapes. We asked the arbiter on what happened.
Yeah, sure, can see.
Yeah,
Just
big miss for the youngster.
So in round 3 of the Masters tournament, we had an interesting situation between international master Lev Zverev and young Indian player Advik Agrawal. There was a 3-fold repetition from Mr. Zverev, and we proceeded to go for a DGT board check. But the funny thing is, the software only tells you when the first occurrence of a 3-fold repetition happened. Instead, the claim was found to be correct, but only after manual inspection, because the DGT software showed a different 3-fold that happened earlier and that went unclaimed. So I want to give big kudos to the chief arbiter, Salman Al-Taher. He was the one who suggested that we do the manual check, because ultimately maybe I would have taken a wrong decision on camera, and that would not have been very good. So thank again for Salman Al-Taher, the chief arbiter here, for having the presence of spirit to do the manual check, and ultimately the players agreed there was a 3-fold, so the draw was given.
Thanks, Vlad, for explaining the situation, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.